Please be seated. For what purpose does the doorkeeper rise?
Mr. President, the governor-elect of the 82nd session of Missouri Boys State approaches the chamber.
Mr. Doorkeeper, open the door and allow the governor-elect of Missouri Boys State, the Honorable, to enter the chamber. Missouri Governor Mike Parson will now administer the oath of office to the Missouri Boys State Governor-elect.
All right, Cooper, raise your right hand. You may either swear or affirm. Repeat after me. I, Cooper Peck Barron, do solemnly swear
I, Cooper Peck Barron, do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri
and the Constitution of the State of Missouri
and the Constitution of Boys State,
and the Constitution of Boys State,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Governor of Missouri Boys State
and that will faithfully discharge the duties of officer of Missouri Boys State
according to the best of my ability.
according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations, Governor.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. I want to start my speech tonight by thanking Missouri Boys State and Missouri Girls State, Lindenwood University, the American Legion Auxiliary, and Governor Parson. Additionally, I would also like to thank my city, Lewis City, and family for supporting me in my endeavors. Lastly, I would be remiss if I did not thank my campaign manager, Isaac Rackers, and the rest of my campaign team for helping me achieve my goal of Missouri Boys State Governor. Saying thank you a million times feels lackluster to what I'm feeling in my heart in this moment. The impact you all have left on me is indescribable, and the responsibility that you have entrusted with me as your Missouri Boys State Governor is something that I do not take for granted. This week, we have made history. I have witnessed the 82nd session of Missouri Boys State accomplish amazing feats, including historic work on anti-discrimination legislation, which is timelier than ever, as this is the first co-hosted session of Missouri Boys and Girls State, and the first session at Lindenwood University. As my first act as governor, I plan to sign the anti-discrimination bill into law tomorrow morning. Throughout my campaign, I have emphasized what I call the Purple Brotherhood, an idea that is centered in bipartisanship unity, and acting in the best interest of every citizen at Missouri Boys State, regardless of their political party. Our Purple Brotherhood begins now. This is our opportunity to unite as one Boys State and finish out this week in a way that leaves a lasting legacy for years and sessions to come. I am your governor, Cooper Peck Barron, and I come from Lewis City. Just like my city's namesake, Meriwether Lewis, let us go forth and explore new horizons, taking with us the important lessons that we have learned this week. While we will all travel different paths throughout our lives, I cherish the fact that I got to spend this week with all of you. Thank you for all of your hard work, and most of all, thank you for being you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Governor of Missouri Girls State, Dua Muhammad.
Love you too. Thank you. All right, girls and boys state citizens, it is now my honor to introduce our special guest and keynote speaker, Governor Mike Parson. Michael L. Parson was sworn in as Missouri's 57th governor on June 1st of 2018. He was re-elected in November of 2020 and sworn into a full term in 2021. The governor has a lifelong commitment to serving others and over 30 years of experience in public service. Governor Parson previously served as the 47th Lieutenant Governor of Missouri from 2017 to 2018. He was elected Lieutenant Governor after claiming victory in 110 of Missouri's 114 counties and receiving the most votes of any Lieutenant Governor in Missouri history. Governor Parson also served 6 years in the U.S. Army and as the Sheriff of Polk County from 1993 to 2005. He served in the Missouri House of Representatives from 2005 to 2011 and in the Missouri Senate from 2011 to 2017. From day one, workforce development and infrastructure have been major priorities for Governor Parson. The governor's proposal to improve economic and workforce development through a reorganization of state government was overwhelmingly supported by the General Assembly. And 100 of Missouri's poorest bridges were repaired or rehabilitated in just over 1 year through his Focus on Bridges program. In 2018, Governor Parson signed the largest income tax cut in Missouri history and has continued working with the General Assembly to pass fiscally responsible budgets. Governor Parson has also led Missouri through several major crises, including historic droughts, flooding, tornadoes, and the COVID-19 pandemic. The governor and Mrs. Parson live in Bolivar. Together, they have 2 grown children and 6 grandchildren. He was raised on a farm in Hickory County and graduated from Wheatland High School in Wheatland, Missouri. He is a small business owner and a 3rd-generation farmer who currently owns and operates a cow and calf operation near Bolivar. Missouri Girls and Boys State, please join me in welcoming the 57th Governor of Missouri, the Honorable Michael L. Parson.
Wow, you're a fired up bunch tonight. I like that. Yeah, heck yeah. How about your 2 governors tonight? All 3 of us up there at the same time. How about that tonight? Man, it is an honor to be here tonight. I heard you guys back there. I got here a little early to do some interviews, and I heard you out here. What a fired up bunch. I just can't tell you how much excited I get when I get to see young people trying to adapt to leadership roles of the state of Missouri. Because I believe in my heart, you are the future of Missouri. You are the next leaders, and you will wear that burden, and I'm proud to turn the reins over to you. That's how much confidence I got in our young people in this state. So thank you for being here tonight. You know, when I come here tonight, I was trying to think, what message do I deliver to you young men and you young women? But Cooper, when he was up here, I will tell you, he said one thing in his closing remarks that probably might not have been noticed as much as it should have been. But I'll tell you, one of the secrets to being a good leader is be yourself, be who you are. Never try to be anybody you're not. Don't try to be somebody because people want you to be somebody. Just be who you are. Remember the foundation where you started at home. Remember how you was brought up. Remember about the beliefs you had. And you stay with them and you let it guide you as the times come when you take on leadership roles. As you heard the introduction, most of you, some of you may remember, maybe you don't, how I become governor in the state of Missouri. The former governor resigned, and it's the first time in our state's history that happened, and I become governor in a matter of 2 days to be able to take the reins of the state of Missouri. And the one thing I knew throughout my career, serving in the Army, being a sheriff, being a business owner, being a farmer, frankly being a dad, and one of the greatest jobs I have is being a gramps, as my grandkids call me on that, to be able to do them. And all that experience I took together, and I have truly lived the American dream. I've been blessed to do a lot of things in my career. But the only reason I got to do that is because opportunities, what other people did to give me that opportunity, to help me along the way. And I think those things are important, that we always need to remember the foundations of who we are in this country and where we came from. And it doesn't matter whether you come from the urban area, the rural area. It doesn't matter what the color of your skin is. Because you know, we should love one another. That's what we're supposed to do, no matter where you come from or who you are. I love this state and I love the people of this state. And I fought for this state and I will continue to fight for this state. And if you do good things as a leader, good things will happen. But you got to let people make decisions for themselves. Your job is not to tell everybody what to do. Your job is to give them guidance and to be a leader and convince people that what you're doing is right, to be able to do that. And if you do, sometimes you have days like today that's pretty rewarding. So this afternoon, men and young ladies, Kansas City, Missouri will be hosting the World Cup in Missouri and Kansas City. How about that? Yeah. Yeah, that's a USA for sure when you're talking about the World Cup coming here. That's going to be an exciting time for all of us in our state to be able to do that. As I went through some of the state's worst drought, I went through the state's worst floods, I went through civil unrest in the state of Missouri, I went through COVID-19, and still had to keep the economy going. I still had to try some way to get you in school, to make sure that most of you went to school, and to be able to make those decisions. But I will go back to what I originally said. If you want to be a leader, it's not always about being the best leader. Your governors will find that out before this is all over. It's not about them being the best. I will assure you it's about making people around you better. That's what true leaders do. They get good people around them and they try to do good things for the betterment of this state. For you to take the burden of leadership, all of you will take that responsibility. Every one of you in this room will have that burden, that responsibility. I won't say it's a burden. I want to tell you, you should take it on head on. You should want to take that opportunity. You should want some little kid to look up to you. You should want your family to take a look at you, your friends, and take a look at you and say, hey, I'm willing to do things for other people I'll never know, I'll never see, and I'll never meet. That's what true leaders do. And they stay committed to what they believe. The decisions you make as leaders is never always popular. I wish it was, but it's not. You're going to be forced into things that some people's not going to like, and some people will like. And you have to understand in the state of Missouri, we're very diverse in the state. Whether you're from the urban areas or from the rural areas, But what I will tell you, you want everybody to do well. I don't care where you live, where it's at. If everybody does well, the state does well. And that's what you do as governor. And your governors will find that out. You'll have some big supporters out there that pushed you through a campaign. But there's going to be a lot of people out there that you probably didn't make as much contact with as you should. But you got to remember you represent them too when they're out there. Those are the things that you do. Those are the things that you become as leader. Needless to say, trying times when I was governor, but I felt like I was prepared for those days with the experience I had. I wouldn't be on this stage today if I hadn't served in the United States Army. I wouldn't be. I grew up during that time and understand some things in life in general and to have the experiences I've had. To be a faith background. I don't truly believe you can do this job without faith being in your life. I don't. I think that's how important it is, that you need to find out where that takes you in life to be able to do that. I just want to share with you, and I know you got some questions to ask for me and everything, but I thought it was important to know how important it is for you to be ready to be a leader. It's not always fun, but everybody can do it. Everybody has the ability to do it. My mom and dad were sharecroppers. I come from a town of 356 people. And when people wrote my yearbook back in those days, nobody said, Mike Parson, you're going to be the next governor of the state of Missouri. They was probably hoping I got out of school. Some of them was. But the point I'm telling you, I come from one of the humblest beginnings that you could possibly have, but I've worked my entire life to try to be better. And I continue to do that today here in front of you. You inspire me to do better. I'm never satisfied with the status quo. I'm not satisfied with the divisive nature of politics. I'm tired of Washington, D.C. All they're doing is fight, fight, fight. And I tell you, that's not good for our country. It's not good for Missouri. We need to find common ground where we can agree on things and we can figure out how to move forward. Because if you really search your hearts, you will find out most things you agree on. And you need to do good things and quit dwelling on all the bad things and fighting for things. And people are not always going to believe like I believe. People are not always going to believe like you believe, and that's okay. But you still got to figure out how you govern. You got to still figure out how you move forward, and I think that's the secret to being a good leader. You bring people to the table sometimes who don't agree with you, and you try to find out what you can agree with. And when you're done, you walk away. And you're not mad at the world when you walk away and you don't get what you want. That's what true leaders do, and I think those are the people that we need more. I think your generation has to understand that more than ever, that every person matters. Every person matters in this state, and I think those are the things I try to stay focused on every day as governor and have the privilege to be where I'm at. You know, in that little town I told you about, in closing, do you know when the speaker says governors, do you know when you say in closing, 85% of the audience listens to you because they know you're getting ready to quit. So in closing, I want to share with you my belief in this country and why it was so important for me to be here tonight to talk to you and try to inspire you to do everything you can do to be a leader, because we need good leaders out there. When I went to that little town of 356 people in Wheatland, Missouri, there was 2 flags that flew in that little town. There was one over the post office, and there's one over the school. And every day, we said the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag in that little school. But until I was 19 years old and I joined the United States Army, I did not understand the importance of the flag of the United States of America, and I did not understand the importance of the Pledge of Allegiance. I frankly took them for granted and didn't pay much attention to them. And then I realized all the people that served in the military before I did, so I could wear the uniform, and the sacrifices they made in our country so we could live under freedom. And that freedom I'm talking about has been passed down to me and you, and it's getting ready to be put on your shoulders and how you're going to protect it in the future. But that freedom was passed down by our forefathers when they did things like the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, and the Bill of Rights, And that's been passed down from generation to generation to generation for over 240 years. And it's been passed down to you tonight as we hear. It's passed down to your parents, to your grandparents, to people that have lived in this country for as long as we have, that have lived in this state. And they've passed the American dream down to you. The question is, what are you going to do with the American dream? Because the only way it survives is through you. Your generation has to understand the importance of who we are in this country and what freedom means, and it means to everybody. That is what's been passed down for time and time again. So we're here tonight to be in this room. And all of you, if you think about it, your parents, your grandparents, your teachers, your clergy, your churches, somebody's had an influence in your life. Your job is to make sure you have that same kind of influence in somebody else's life when the day comes, just like I have. And why I'm here tonight in front of you as governor of the great state of Missouri. I couldn't be more proud to be here. I couldn't be more proud of you. And I want every one of you to know what I said earlier. I love this state and I love everybody in this state. I truly do. That's what I've been called to do. I think there's a purpose in our lives and we need to answer the call when that purpose comes. But to be here with you tonight is joy. It is fun. And when I get ready to finish this right here, I want to hear some noise. I want to hear more noise than I've heard all night. Got it? So it is an honor and privilege to be the 57th governor of the great state of Missouri. God bless you. Yeah, okay.
Go for it.
All right, wait a minute. We may have to do this again. I'm supposed to... Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, let's wait on that then. All right, everybody okay? I know we got out there. I know it's hot in here. Are we ready? Hey, first of all, thanks everybody for helping on that and staying with us here for a few minutes till we get everybody taken care of on that. So thank you all for being patient on that. All right, here we go. First question. Where are we going? Over here?
Governor, your first question will come from your front right here with the red light.
Okay.
Anyone asking questions, please go to the corners where we asked questions previously with Senator McCaskill.
Okay. First question.
Hello, Mr. Governor. I'm a big fan.
All right, good.
I had a question. What were your plans with dealing with the raising inflation in Missouri?
Well, I think we're very fortunate in this state. Number one, we have a lower unemployment rate than most states right now. We're at 3.1. A lot of the federal money that come down, we banked some of that to make sure we could help people through tough times, and we kind of thought ahead about this. The inflation, I think the one thing you got to do, we got to all buckle down a little bit. It's coming, and I never like to talk about, I guess, downer things, but you also have to face reality sometime. That inflation's real, and we got to figure out ways to do it. And I'm going to go back to leadership. It does matter who's in leadership roles at times like this. And for you guys, that inflation keep going up, your life becomes pretty tough. You know, my grandson, you know, he got a truck he drives, and all of a sudden he's paying $5 a gallon of gas to go to work. Has an impact on him. So, you know, we want to do our part to make sure that we do what we can for the inflation, but we're in better shape in this state financially and things than most other states in the United States are. So we're thankful for that. And Missouri, the inflation won't hit us as hard as it will the coast. It's just normal. So we'll weather that storm. But good question. All right, young lady.
Hi, I'm Haley Husky from Bradley City. And my question is, even though your constituents voted to expand Medicaid, why did you decide to overturn it?
Well, we put that in the budget. I did as governor. The legislatures are the ones that overturned that when that happened. But we've had that in the budget ever since. We believe the will of the people spoke. I wasn't a big fan of it, I'll be honest with you. But once the people voted on it and they said, this is what we want, we've had it in the governor's budget every year since that's happened. And, you know, that's the will of the people, and you got to respect that. So we're trying to implement that now as fast as we can. So that program should be up and running. There's people signing up all the time for it now. Good question. Okay, in the back.
Knowing that Missouri is ranked one of the lowest in teacher pay and teacher turnover rates, what are you doing at a state level to combat this?
I didn't hear the first part of that. I'm sorry.
Knowing that Missouri is ranked one of the lowest in teacher pay and teacher turnover rates, what are you doing at a state level to combat
Yeah, exactly.
this?
Actually, as governor, I introduced the first teacher's pay in a long, long time, in over a decade. We're trying to get the base salary of a teacher up. I don't know how many of you know what a base pay is for a teacher in the state of Missouri. It's $25,000. Let that soak in just a minute. So let me tell you what that is. That's $12 an hour. And their job is to educate you for the future. That's not good enough. So we took that minimum pay from $25,000 up to $38,000, and then we started more money in the career ladder so experienced teachers could draw more money. So we are trying to do something about education in the state of Missouri, because we don't need to be dead last. And also, my daughter's a teacher, so she tells me what to do every once in a while. All right, where are we at? In the back?
Hi, I'm Jacob Licklider from Donovan City.
All right.
In light of past events, what have you done to combat potential voter fraud, and what will you do to prevent further irregularities?
What was the first? I'm not catching the first part of your question.
What have you done to combat potential voter fraud, and what will you do to prevent further irregularities?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I have a bill on my desk that has to do with voter ID and how we protect the system in the state of Missouri. However, I will tell you this right now, Missouri does a good job running their elections. Your local elected officials in your counties and your cities, for the most part in this state, does a very good job of making sure our elections run very well. And as you've seen after the last election, even during COVID, we were able to operate the elections with no problems here in the state of Missouri. So I think we're on the right track here. We just need to make sure we're making the integrity of the vote are good votes, because we want the right people in office that the people decide on. And I think those are important things that everybody should have a right to that vote, and we should make sure it is a good vote for the people of your choice. Thank you. Okay, up front.
Hi, I'm Maddie Johnson. I'm from Carver City.
All right.
And I was wondering, what was your motivation to get into politics?
The motivation for what?
To getting into politics.
I didn't hear the last part.
What's your
To get in
motivation for
politics.
getting?
Oh, I don't know. I messed up. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. You know what? I think going back to the Army, I really believed in being a public servant. Being sheriff, I was kind of in that role to help people that needed help. And I just had a view of the world that thinking somebody has to stand up and do the right thing, even when it's not politically correct. But it's the right thing to do. And I always felt like I had that in my heart to be able to say, okay, I want to treat you right. I want to make sure you're treated fair. I want to treat people like we should treat one another, with respect, with honor, even if you disagree. So I think being a public servant in the military, I realized how important that was, that you're willing to actually give up everything for other people. Being a sheriff, being in law enforcement for 22 years. And that's another thing I want to just give a shout out to all the law enforcement in our state and all our veterans here. Yeah. You got to remember, those people do exactly what most of us don't want to do. And they put their life on the line every day to answer a call 24 hours a day, every day of the week. So that's how I become a public servant. It wasn't about being governor. I told you earlier, it's not about ever being about the best governor. I don't even worry about that. I just worry about getting good people around me and being a good leader. Thank you. All right, up front, nice hat.
Thank you. My name is Max Brown. I am from the KMBS Radio and Carver City.
Whoa.
We got the opportunity to listen to the, quote, best ever Lieutenant Governor Kehoe yesterday. Now, if you don't know, former Lieutenant Governor, current Lieutenant Governor Kehoe said in his opening statement that he was the, quote, best Lieutenant Governor. This is a little joke for you.
He's talking smack. That's okay.
Exactly.
There was a good Lieutenant Governor before him, too. There you go. He's a good guy. He's my friend.
He is. He's a good guy. In a position like a governor, how important is communication among your peers, such as Lieutenant Governor Kehoe, and how can ineffective communication lead to government downfall?
You know, I think communication is critical, and I don't care whether you're the governor, whether you're a peer at Boys and Girls State. You know, to be a leader, you got to be a communicator, and you got to make sure you take care of the people that you're assigned to take care of. So I want all statewide leaders, whether Republican or Democrat, I want them to do well when I'm governor, because if they're doing well, we're doing well. And that's how I focus on things, and I want people to do a good job. And I'll tell you the other thing, I push people to work. I do. At the governor's office, my schedule when I walk in every day is scheduled on every 15 minutes. I do it a different topic all day long, every 15 minutes. That's why it's fun to come out here and be with you guys. I'm not doing that. But that's how much you got to work. You got to work. The worst thing about being governor, kind of off the track there, worst thing about governors, I don't get to see my family as much as I like to. It's just tough scheduling wise. But I miss my grandkids. I miss my family. So it's part of the job. Yeah. Thank you for the question.
Hello, my name is Blake Ford. I'm also from Carver City.
Carver City.
As a local farmer and governor, how do you feel about policies such as the Next Generation Fuels Act for the state of Missouri to ensure vehicle efficiency and public health?
All right, tell me the last part of the questions again.
How do you feel about policies such as the Next Generation Fuels Act for the state of Missouri to ensure vehicle efficiency and public health?
Yeah, well, first of all, the farming part of it that you mentioned there, you know, I'm probably one of the very few governors in the United States that's actually an active farmer that still works on the farm. Matter of fact, when I leave here tonight, I'm flying back to Bolivar. I'll be in a tractor and a baler tomorrow. But when you talk about different things in the future for agriculture, or when you start talking about anything regulated, I think one of the things when COVID hit that we learned, I waived over 600 regulations when COVID hit. So people could still go to work, people could still do their jobs, and frankly, a lot of it was over-regulated by governors, by government to be able to do that. That's why I think it's important as we deregulate as much as we can. I'm telling you, I'm a firm believer in you making your choice, whatever it is. And I think to make our future go, we got to make sure that you get a right to make choices, and don't always depend on government to do something. You're well capable of doing about everything for yourselves, but don't be sitting around kind of waiting for government to come in today and do it, because once you get dependent on government, government grows, gets bigger, and it wants to regulate more and more. All right, thank you for the question. All right, let's take one more question, because I can't tell whether they're all waving at me out here or they're fanning, but I got a feeling they're fanning, so it's hot in here. All right, one more question.
All right, hi, I'm Ellie Vansel. I'm from Crowder City. And my question to you is, how do you use your experience as a farmer and a business owner to support policies for all businesses across the state?
Yeah, you know what? It's that experience you have, and experience matters. You know, just like being a farmer. You know, I want farmers to go out there and work on their land, and I want people to leave them alone, is what I want them to do. I want them to produce, yeah. And why that is so important to me, because I know one thing about Missourians, we like to eat. And so you got to support farmers. You know. So, you know, again, being that special field of being a farmer, to have that experience to be able to take it, to go up there, being a business person, and just being an individual as a sheriff. I know what it's like for government to regulate you on things that you feel like sometimes is overreach of government. And that's something every one of you should be concerned with. Every year, legislators pass bill after bill after bill. And that normally tells you there's regulations in there to regulate your life. And I think over the years, I found out I don't like that. And now I'm governor, I get to do something about it. Of those 600 regulations, we took over 200 of them off the book, and they're never going to be here again. Thank goodness. So good question, but always honored to come from the background. I'm not ashamed of where I came from. I'm not ashamed to talk about my faith when I'm up here. Yeah, that's good, that's okay. God's good, God's good. Yeah, that's right, man. You know, I finished out a speech real quick, and I'll finish on this. You know, during COVID, we was doing press conferences every day. And I finished one of my talks one day, and every day I always say, God bless you. You know, I'll never forget when the media people says, hey, why do you say that? You know, other than I wanted to slap the guy down, because I believe that. I believe that, and I'm not afraid to say that.
We once again appreciate the amazing energy that you're able to provide our speakers with. I want to thank Governor Parson for being here with us and for his words of wisdom he's shared with you. Thursday night at our program is Legion Family Night. It's a time for us to show our appreciation for our friends and family in the American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary, for those who served and for all those who support them. Governor, as a sign of our appreciation and in recognition of this historic evening, please accept this commemorative token presented on behalf of the American Legion Auxiliary, the Legion Riders, and the entire Legion, Boys State, and Girls State family. The inscription on this reads, presented by Missouri Boys State and Missouri Girls State in grateful appreciation to Governor Mike Parson, keynote speaker at the inaugural combined joint session of MBS and MGS General Assemblies, June 2022. Can we please provide one last round of applause for Governor Parson as he exits the stage? Upon the formal conclusion of our joint assemblies, we will soon head over to Harlan Hunter Stadium for the State Fair presented by Lindenwood University. Upon our closing, please stay seated for your evening news broadcasts. After which you will be dismissed by sections in the auditorium.
Okay. Seeing as there is no objections, the Missouri Girls State Legislature and the Missouri Boys State Legislature first joint session is adjourned.
Girls State. I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Samantha.
Hey, have you seen all of the amazing delegates at Girls State this session?
Yes, everybody has the coolest talents, whether it be singing, dancing, or playing an instrument.
I am so glad that they had a chance to come to the Girls State Talent Show.
Speaking of the talent show, we have a montage from last night's performances.
Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for. Tell me, do you want to go where it's covered in all colored lights, where the runaways are running the night? Impossible comes true, it's taking over you. We light it up, we won't come down, and the sun can't stop us now. Watching it come true, it's taking over you. Colossal we come, these renegades in the ring. Where the lost get found, every crown of the circus king. Don't fight it, it's coming for you, running at you. It's only this moment, don't care what comes after. It's blinding out, shining, and it's letting you know. Just surrender, 'cause you're coming on. Where it's covered in all colored lights, where the runaways are running the night. Intoxicating you.
Wow, these delegates really are the coolest.
I agree. I just wish I could show my hidden talent.
You have a hidden talent?
Yes, I do.
Well, I would love to see that. But first, I have some delegates that weren't seen in the talent show that would like to share theirs first.
I'm running for Missouri Boys State Governor. Vote me.
Hi, I'm Chad, and I'm running for Vice President of Boys State. Vote me.
Hi, I'm Michael, and I'm running for Secretary of Boys State. Vote me. And these are our hidden talents.
We're a tumbling act.
For real. Ready? Go. For the boys, by the boys.
Wow, everybody's talents were just outstanding.
Yes, it should be a crime for their talents to be that good.
Since you say that, I wonder how many people have gotten tickets from the Highway Patrol lately.
I don't know about you, but I have heard that they are giving out some crazy tickets.
Sounds so exciting. I really hope I don't get one.
Me either. Let's check out some of the crazy tickets people have been receiving.
My craziest ticket was whenever someone in my city asked me to give them a ticket. Instead, they just threw a water bottle, so I'd write them a ticket.
Oh, we have an ordinance in our city where after a city meeting, you have to gritty down the hallway. And one of our girls did not gritty down the hallway, so I had to give her a ticket.
Can you gritty?
Okay, so I think I've given out like 3 or 4 tickets maybe. I try not to give it out to too many people about like dumb things, but we do have city ordinances. So I gave one out for somebody forgot their lanyard. We had to give one out because a girl was late, so that's a city ordinance that we created as a city. Go Carver. And then I gave one out for somebody wrote on chalk in a prohibited area, so we had to give one of those out. And then my last one was one in the lunch line, which was my first ticket, and I regret it, but it's okay, guys. Woo. Oh, yeah.
Let's see what our newly elected General Assembly and lobbyists are up to.
Did you hear they got to go to Jefferson City?
That is so exciting. I hope they had a great time getting to experience government firsthand.
Hi, this is Lacey Frankson. And I'm Amaya Morgan. And today we both went to Jefferson City to see the newly elected senators and representatives debate their bills and policies on the official Capitol floor.
Before they even stepped foot into the Capitol, the girls were already hard at work discussing issues such as equality between Missouri Girls State and Boys State, downtime for mental health, and potentially adding a choir to the program.
I was extremely excited to come to the mock session because this is something I might want to consider as a future career path, and so I loved getting the opportunity to come here and actually debate bills that we've wrote ourselves. I loved that, and so I was super excited. I've actually never been into the Capitol building before, so I was super excited to just see the Capitol building too.
As soon as we arrived, the House of Representatives got hard at work and discussed their mock session. They discussed topics like adding a county school board, having allergy labels on all foods for meals, and one really controversial topic, having sports during governmental activities and changing the dress code.
We went really smoothly through a couple of bills and then we got stuck on the one and we kept debating, but I loved how everybody kept bringing up their opinions, and it was so interesting to see how the House works in the actual Senate chamber. That was really cool. I really liked the bill that introduced a county school board. I thought that one was really interesting. I think school boards are a very important part of our government. A lower level government, but still government, and I think they play a very important role in our everyday lives. So I think creating one of those in Missouri State is super important.
That looked